I don't deserve love. And then my mind is, well, if you can't hurt them, hurt yourself. If you can't kill them, kill yourself.
For decades, Cesar Milan was the undisputed dog whisperer, transforming problematic pooches into perfectly behaved pets while building a multi-million-dollar empire around his seemingly magical abilities. His calm, assertive energy, infectious smile, and simple philosophy of exercise, discipline, affection made him a household name worldwide. But recent developments have left fans concerned, and industry insiders wondering if the man who once commanded the attention of millions might be facing his most difficult challenge yet. What's really happening with Cesar Milan behind the scenes? The situation is more complicated than most people realize. The signs of struggle. The first hints that something might be amiss came through social media. Longtime fans noticed a dramatic decrease in Milan's once regular posts about his work, his dogs, and his philosophy. When he did post, observers noted that he appeared noticeably thinner, with some commenting that the energetic spark that had defined his television persona seemed diminished. Then came the cancelled appearances. A highly anticipated international seminar tour was abruptly postponed, with organizers citing unforeseen personal circumstances. A scheduled guest spot on a major talk show was quietly removed from the programming lineup without explanation. His podcast, which had released episodes like clockwork every Tuesday for 3 years, suddenly went on an indefinite hiatus after a brief message from a producer mentioned that Cesar was taking some time for personal matters. Industry publications began reporting that projects in development with major networks had been put on hold. A planned new television series focusing on Milan's work with service dogs for veterans was listed as delayed indefinitely on production schedules. The Cesar Milan Foundation, his charitable organization that had been actively rescuing and rehabilitating abandoned dogs, noticeably slowed its operations. For a man whose brand had been built on constant visibility and seemingly boundless energy, this withdrawal from public life raised immediate questions. Where was the dog whisperer, and what was happening behind the scenes? The physical health challenges. The first concrete information came from an unexpected source. During a routine interview about dog training techniques, one of Milan's former colleagues mentioned in passing that Cesar had been dealing with some health issues for a while now. The comment, though brief, sparked immediate speculation. Soon after, a more detailed picture began to emerge. Sources close to Milan revealed that he had been diagnosed with a debilitating autoimmune condition that caused extreme fatigue, joint pain, and inflammatory responses that varied in intensity from day to day. The unpredictable nature of the condition made maintaining his previously rigorous schedule nearly impossible. Some days he can barely get out of bed, one source confided to a reporter. Other days he seems almost like his old self, but the physical demands of what he does, working with powerful, energetic dogs that require him to be fully present and physically capable, it's become increasingly difficult. Particularly concerning to those in Milan's inner circle was his significant weight loss. The once robust trainer had lost nearly 30 pounds, making his familiar blue training shirts hang loosely on his frame. Photos that occasionally surfaced showed a man who still smiled for the camera, but whose physical transformation was impossible to ignore. Compounding these challenges, Milan had reportedly suffered a serious shoulder injury while working with a particularly large and aggressive mastiff. The injury required surgery and a lengthy rehabilitation period that further limited his ability to work with dogs in the physical, hands-on manner that had defined his approach. The business pressures, as Milan's health issues forced him to step back from public appearances and television production, the business empire he had built began showing signs of strain. The Dog Psychology Center, his 43-acre ranch and training facility in California, quietly reduced its operations, accepting fewer dogs and training sessions. His product lines, which included everything from training equipment to dog food, saw declining sales as his media presence diminished. Several retail partnerships ended without renewal. His training courses, once staffed by a team of certified trainers who had learned directly from Milan, began losing key personnel to competitors. Financial pressures mounted. Industry sources reported that Milan had invested heavily in several business ventures outside the dog training world that had failed to produce expected returns. A restaurant concept celebrating his Mexican heritage closed after less than a year. A planned resort catering to dog owners and their pets never progressed beyond the initial planning stages, despite significant development costs. These business setbacks coincided with ongoing financial obligations from his 2010 divorce from Illusion Milan, who had been instrumental in building his brand and business in the early years. While the details of their settlement remained private, those familiar with the situation suggested that the financial arrangements had become increasingly burdensome as his income decreased. Cesar built an empire at his peak, noted one business associate. But empires are expensive to maintain, especially when the emperor isn't well enough to rule as he once did. The evolving training controversy. Complicating Milan's situation further was the evolving nature of dog training methodologies and public attitudes toward them. The approach that had made Milan famous, emphasizing dominance theory and positioning humans as pack leaders, had become increasingly controversial in professional dog training circles. Modern animal behaviorists and positive reinforcement trainers had grown more vocal in their criticism of some of Milan's methods. Scientific studies on canine behavior had moved away from dominance-based models toward understanding dogs as social partners, rather than pack animals requiring a strong leader. Organizations like the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior had issued position statements explicitly rejecting many of the principles that formed the foundation of Milan's approach. This shift in professional consensus put Milan in a difficult position. The techniques that had built his reputation were now questioned by many in the field he had helped popularize. Attempting to evolve his methods while maintaining his brand identity created both personal and professional conflicts. A particularly publicized incident involving a training session that resulted in a dog biting a staff member led to increased scrutiny and legal challenges. While the case was eventually settled, the public relations damage intensified the pressure on Milan's already struggling business operations. "He's caught between worlds," explained one dog training professional who had worked with Milan in the past. The methods that made him famous are increasingly out of step with where the science and the industry have gone. Adapting means essentially admitting that what he taught for years wasn't optimal, and that's a nearly impossible position for any public figure. The mental health component. Perhaps most significant among the challenges facing Milan were the psychological aspects of his situation. Those close to him revealed that the combination of physical health problems, business pressures, and public criticism had taken a substantial toll on his mental well-being. This wasn't the first time Milan had faced severe psychological challenges. In 2010, following the death of his beloved pit bull daddy and his divorce, Milan had attempted suicide, an experience he later spoke about publicly as part of his journey. Now, sources reported that he was again struggling with depression and anxiety as his health and business situations deteriorated. The Cesar that people know from television is someone with unwavering confidence, who always has the answers, said one longtime friend. Living with a condition that makes each day unpredictable, watching the business you built struggle, and facing criticism of your life's work. It would challenge anyone's mental health. Particularly difficult for Milan was his diminished ability to work directly with dogs, the activity that had always been not just his profession, but his passion and emotional anchor. The physical limitations imposed by his health conditions meant he could no longer safely handle powerful, reactive dogs, which had been the cornerstone of his practice and his television appeal. Dogs saved him once before, when he was at his lowest, the friend continued, referring to Milan's recovery from his 2010 suicide attempt. The hardest part now is that his connection to dogs, the thing that has always given him purpose and joy, is limited by his physical condition. The current reality. Today, Cesar Milan's life bears little resemblance to the height of his fame when the Dog Whisperer reached more than 80 countries, and his face was recognized by millions. His current daily reality is focused primarily on managing his health condition through medication, physical therapy, and significant lifestyle adjustments. The sprawling Dog Psychology Center property has been significantly downsized, with portions of the land sold to address financial obligations. A small core team continues limited operations, with much of the hands-on work handled by other trainers, while Milan provides guidance when his health permits. His public appearances, once commanding substantial fees worldwide, are now rare and carefully managed to accommodate his physical limitations. When he does appear, assistants handle the dogs, with Milan focusing on speaking rather than demonstration. Social media accounts that were once personally managed now appear to be primarily handled by staff, with occasional video messages from Milan himself. These glimpses into his current life show a man who still cares deeply about dogs and their relationship with humans, but whose circumstances have fundamentally changed. He has good days and bad days, reports one staff member who continues to work with him. On good days, you can still see the old Cesar, passionate, insightful, connected to the dogs in that special way. But those days are fewer than they once were, and he's had to accept a new normal that includes significant limitations. Finding a new path. Despite these challenges, those closest to Milan insist that he is gradually finding a way forward. His focus has shifted from the high-energy demonstrations that made him famous to mentoring a new generation of trainers who combine elements of his approach with modern, science-based methods. He's in a period of transition, explains one associate, from being the center of attention to becoming more of a teacher and guide. It's not the role he imagined for himself at this stage of his career, but he's working to embrace it and find meaning in it. Financially, Milan has reportedly made significant adjustments, scaling back his lifestyle and focusing on more sustainable business models. Digital courses and virtual consultations require less physical demand than in-person work, while allowing him to continue sharing his knowledge on days when his health permits. His sons, now adults, have taken more active roles in managing what remains of his business interests. They bring contemporary perspectives to the brand while maintaining respect for their father's legacy and his ongoing input when he's able to provide it. Most encouraging to those who care about Milan is his reported acceptance of his new limitations and his willingness to seek help for both physical and mental health challenges. Unlike his earlier crisis in 2010, which he faced largely alone before seeking help, Milan is now said to be working actively with healthcare providers and maintaining connections with a small circle of trusted friends who understand his situation. The lessons behind the headlines. For fans who grew up watching Cesar Milan transform unruly dogs with a seemingly magical touch, the reality of his current situation may be difficult to reconcile with the confident, energetic figure they remember. But in many ways, his current journey contains lessons as valuable as those he shared about dog behavior. His story has become one about human vulnerability and resilience, about facing limitations we never expected, and finding ways to continue contributing despite them. It's about the reality that health challenges, both physical and mental, can affect anyone regardless of their success, fame, or apparent strength. For the man who taught millions about balance in dogs, finding his own new balance has become the central challenge, between capability and limitation, between past identity and present reality, between public expectations and private needs. Those who have spoken with him recently report moments of profound insight amid the struggles. He told me that dogs had taught him to live in the moment, and now his health was forcing him to actually practice that lesson, shared one colleague. To not dwell on what he used to be able to do or worry too much about tomorrow, but to make the most of what each day offers. While the vibrant, physically dynamic dog whisperer of television fame may be gone, a different Cesar Milan continues to navigate his journey. More vulnerable, perhaps, but also potentially more relatable to the millions who face their own unexpected limitations. For a man who rose from poverty in rural Mexico to international fame by understanding dogs, the greatest challenge has become understanding and accepting himself, limitations, struggles, and all. And in that journey, regardless of where it leads, there remain valuable lessons about resilience that transcend any he taught about dog behavior. As one friend put it, Cesar always said he rehabilitated dogs and trained people. Now life is rehabilitating him, and he's still finding ways to teach through that process. It's a different kind of strength, but it's strength.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
Prince Harry had always been a polarizing figure, born into one of the world's most scrutinized families. From his earliest days, he was surrounded by the pomp and circumstance of royal life. Yet there was always an undercurrent of tension. Being the younger son of Charles and Diana, he was not only a spare to the heir, but also a convenient target for public intrigue. The media painted him as the rebellious prince, the royal who didn't quite fit the mold. Over time, that narrative hardened, and when whispers about his parentage began, they spread like wildfire. For Harry, these rumors weren't just an assault on his identity, they were a relentless attack on his entire existence. The tabloids, known for their sensationalism, latched onto the idea that Harry might not be Prince Charles's biological son. Photos comparing Harry's appearance to that of James Hewitt, a former lover of Diana's, began circulating alongside lurid headlines. "Is this the true father of the prince?" one headline screamed. Social media amplified the rumors, with amateur sleuths dissecting every detail of Harry's appearance, from his hair color to his smile. The world seemed determined to question his legitimacy, no matter how baseless the claims were. Harry's wife, Meghan, was his rock during these trying times. She encouraged him to rise above the noise, to remember the man he truly was. But the rumors gnawed at him, planting seeds of doubt that even her reassurances couldn't fully erase. What if they're right? Harry found himself wondering late at night, staring at his reflection in the mirror. He had always been told he was Charles's son, but now, even his own confidence was faltering under the weight of public speculation. The royal family's silence made things worse. They neither confirmed nor denied the rumors, a calculated decision perhaps intended to protect the institution's reputation. But for Harry, the lack of a public defense felt like abandonment. His relationship with his father, already strained in recent years, grew colder. Prince William, ever the dutiful heir, urged him to ignore the gossip. But Harry couldn't. The rumors had taken root, spreading through his mind like an invasive vine. Then came the informant. The mysterious woman with piercing green eyes claimed to have the key to unlocking the truth about Harry's lineage. She appeared out of the shadows with an envelope she promised contained irrefutable evidence. "You'll want to see this," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "But truth comes at a price." Her sudden appearance raised more questions than answers. Was she telling the truth? Or was she another opportunist looking to exploit the scandal for her own gain? Against Meghan's better judgment, Harry agreed to hear the woman out. Their clandestine meeting took place in a dimly lit room, the air thick with tension. The woman slid the envelope across the table, her gaze never leaving Harry's face. "Inside, you'll find what you've been looking for," she said. Harry hesitated, his hand hovering over the envelope. The weight of what lay inside seemed almost unbearable. Was he ready for what he might find? The media frenzy intensified when news leaked that Harry had decided to undergo a DNA test. Every outlet clamored for details, speculating wildly about what the results might reveal. Royal commentators debated the implications. What would it mean for the monarchy if Harry wasn't Charles's son? Would it erode public trust, or would the institution carry on as it always had, untouched by scandal? The world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the truth. The day of the test arrived, and Harry felt the enormity of the moment pressing down on him. At the private clinic, he was greeted by a sterile environment that seemed at odds with the emotional turmoil swirling inside him. The procedure itself was quick, just a swab of his cheek, but the wait for the results felt interminable. As the days dragged on, Harry wrestled with his own thoughts. He thought about his mother, Diana, and the life she had lived under the harsh glare of public scrutiny. Would she have wanted this? Would she have understood his need for answers? Or would she have urged him to let the past lie? The results finally arrived, sealed in an envelope marked confidential. Alone in his study, Harry sat with the envelope in his hands, his heart pounding in his chest. He opened it slowly, his fingers trembling. The truth was printed in black and white. Prince Charles was indeed his biological father. A wave of relief washed over him, but it was tinged with bitterness. The rumors, so meticulously crafted and perpetuated, had been nothing more than lies. Yet, the relief was short-lived. The test revealed something else. A rare genetic marker, one that was shared by only a handful of people in the world. It was a marker of the Windsor bloodline, a detail that confirmed his place within the royal family, but also tied him irrevocably to its legacy of secrets and scandals. The revelation was both liberating and suffocating. Harry was who he always thought he was, yet he felt like a pawn in a larger, more insidious game. The ordeal left Harry deeply changed. His trust in the media, already tenuous, was shattered. His faith in the royal institution had been further eroded, and his relationships with his family members were more strained than ever. The experience had taken a toll on his mental health, leaving him anxious and guarded. He began to question not just his place within the royal family, but the role of the monarchy itself in a modern world. In the weeks that followed, Harry sought solace in his family. Meghan, always his steadfast supporter, encouraged him to focus on their children and their future. Together, they began to chart a path forward, one that prioritized their happiness and well-being over royal duty. But Harry couldn't shake the feeling that the rumors had been more than just idle gossip. Was it possible that someone had orchestrated the entire saga to discredit him? The thought lingered in the back of his mind, a shadow that refused to dissipate. The media, for its part, moved on to the next scandal. But the damage had been done. Harry's reputation had been dragged through the mud, and while the truth vindicated him, it didn't erase the pain he had endured. He had learned a harsh lesson about the cost of fame and the unrelenting cruelty of public scrutiny. Even in vindication, there was no true escape from the spotlight. As Harry reflected on the journey, he realized that the rumors were never really about him. They were a reflection of society's fascination with tearing down those in the limelight, a hunger for scandal that transcended reason and empathy. He vowed to protect his children from the same fate, to give them a life free from the relentless scrutiny that had defined his own. In the end, Harry emerged from the ordeal stronger, but not unscathed. He had confronted the shadows of his past and found the truth, but at a cost that could never fully be measured. The experience had reshaped his understanding of himself, his family, and the world around him. It was a chapter in his life that he would never forget, a chapter that, despite its pain, had ultimately led him to a place of greater clarity and purpose. In the aftermath of the DNA test scandal, Prince Harry found himself standing at a crossroads, grappling with the weight of what he had uncovered and the scars left by the journey. The revelation of his true lineage had confirmed his place within the royal family, but it had also exposed the deep fissures within the institution he once believed was an unshakable cornerstone of tradition and duty. Now, as the world moved on to other scandals, Harry was left to pick up the pieces and decide what his future would look like. Harry's relationship with the royal family remained complicated. While the confirmation of his parentage should have brought a sense of closure, it instead deepened the divide between him and his relatives. The silence from Buckingham Palace during the media frenzy had been deafening. To Harry, it felt like abandonment, a stark reminder that protecting the institution often took precedence over protecting the individuals within it. His conversations with his father, Prince Charles, became tense and sporadic. There was no outright conflict, but the unspoken grievances between them created an invisible barrier that neither seemed willing to breach. Prince William, always the more traditional and reserved of the two brothers, had urged Harry to let the rumors die a natural death, to avoid fanning the flames by taking the DNA test. While Harry understood his brother's perspective, he couldn't ignore the fundamental differences in how they viewed their roles in the family and the world. William, destined to be king, saw duty as paramount, even at the cost of personal sacrifice. Harry, on the other hand, wanted a life of authenticity, one where he could protect his family from the relentless scrutiny he had endured. In the months following the scandal, Harry and Meghan focused on building a life that was entirely their own. They poured their energy into their projects, from their charitable foundation to their media endeavors. The couple doubled down on their mission to use their platform for good, advocating for mental health awareness, environmental sustainability, and social justice. Harry's experiences with the media fueled his determination to fight for a better world for his children. He wanted them to grow up knowing their worth wasn't defined by tabloid headlines or royal titles, but by their character and the impact they made on the world. One of Harry's most profound realizations was the importance of storytelling. The narrative around his life had always been controlled by others, tabloids, palace officials, and public opinion. Now, he wanted to reclaim that power. He and Meghan worked on a series of documentaries and interviews that sought to shine a light on the human stories often overshadowed by sensationalism.
In a shocking turn of events, the atmosphere at a prestigious royal event turned from celebratory to tense as the crowd fell into a stunned silence. Catherine, Princess of Wales, affectionately known as Kate Middleton, unexpectedly collapsed in front of a horrified Prince William. The usually poised and graceful Duchess, who has long been a symbol of strength and elegance, left onlookers frozen in disbelief. The incident unfolded rapidly, with concern etched across the faces of those in attendance as Prince William rushed to her side, reflecting the gravity of the moment.
My work has always brought me a deep sense of joy, and I look forward to being back when I'm able. But for now, I must focus on making a full recovery. At this time, I'm also thinking of all those whose lives have been affected by cancer. For everyone facing this disease, in whatever form, please do not lose faith or hope. You are not alone.
Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, has always been a symbol of elegance, strength, and poise, embodying the ideals of the British royal family. Known for her unwavering dedication to her royal duties and her ability to balance the demands of public life with motherhood, she has garnered admiration from millions across the globe. However, in recent months, troubling reports have emerged that have left both the public and the royal family deeply concerned. It all began during a prestigious royal event, where Kate Middleton, alongside her husband, Prince William, was expected to make another public appearance as part of her tireless commitment to charity work and royal obligations. The Duchess had long been known for her impeccable composure during these events, often showing little sign of fatigue or stress despite her packed schedule. However, what was meant to be a routine engagement quickly turned into a deeply distressing situation that left those in attendance in shock. As the Duchess mingled with guests, those nearby noticed that she seemed slightly pale and was moving at a slower pace than usual. Initially, it was chalked up to the sheer exhaustion of her busy schedule, which had been particularly demanding in recent months. However, things took a dramatic turn when, without warning, Kate collapsed in front of a horrified audience. Prince William, who was standing just a few feet away, immediately rushed to her side, his face a mixture of fear and urgency. The crowd fell into a tense silence, the joyous atmosphere instantly replaced by anxiety and concern. Royal aides and security personnel acted quickly, ushering the Duchess away from the crowd and into a nearby room where medical personnel had been summoned. The event was swiftly cancelled, and the media were asked to show restraint, although whispers of the incident quickly began circulating through the corridors of Buckingham Palace and beyond. Within hours, the news had broken, and concerns for Kate Middleton's health dominated headlines across the world. The collapse sparked an immediate response from the royal family, and questions began to surface about Kate's well-being. While the palace initially downplayed the severity of the situation, stating that the Duchess had merely been feeling unwell and was advised to rest, further reports soon indicated that the issue might be far more serious than previously thought. Speculation began to grow about the nature of her health struggles, with some pointing to the immense pressure she had been under in her role as a senior royal, while others suggested that there might be an underlying medical condition contributing to her collapse. In the days following the event, sources close to the royal family confirmed that Kate had undergone a series of medical tests to determine the cause of her sudden collapse. The results, while not immediately disclosed to the public, reportedly raised alarms within the royal household. It was later revealed that doctors had discovered a troubling issue, one that had been hidden from public view for some time. Kate Middleton had been quietly battling a serious health condition, and there were growing concerns that it might be cancer. The news sent shockwaves through both the British public and the wider world, as the idea that someone as beloved and high-profile as the Duchess could be facing such a daunting challenge seemed almost unthinkable. For years, Kate had maintained a healthy and active lifestyle, often seen jogging, playing tennis, and staying involved in numerous charitable causes related to physical and mental health. The revelation that she might be suffering from a potentially life-threatening illness left many in disbelief. While the royal family has traditionally been private about health matters, the severity of the situation forced them to address the growing speculation. In a carefully worded statement, the palace confirmed that Kate had indeed undergone further medical evaluations, and while they did not confirm a specific diagnosis, they acknowledged that she was facing a significant health issue. The statement reassured the public that Kate was receiving the best possible care and that her doctors were closely monitoring her condition. The lack of details in the palace's statement only fueled further speculation. Media outlets around the world began reporting that Kate Middleton might be suffering from a form of cancer, although no specific type had been confirmed. Some reports suggested that she had been diagnosed with an early stage of the disease and that her prognosis was good, while others speculated that her condition might be more advanced than initially thought. The truth, however, remained closely guarded by the royal family, leaving the public to grapple with the uncertainty of the situation. As Kate Middleton continued her recovery, the public's admiration for her only grew. She had faced one of the most difficult challenges of her life with grace and courage, and her resilience had touched the hearts of many. While the future remained uncertain, one thing was clear: Kate Middleton was a fighter, and she would continue to face whatever challenges came her way with the same strength and determination that had made her such a beloved figure in the first place. Throughout her ordeal, Kate had remained focused on her family, particularly her 3 young children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. As a mother, her greatest concern had always been for their well-being, and she had worked tirelessly to ensure that they remained happy and secure, despite the challenges she was facing. Prince William had also played a pivotal role in supporting both Kate and their children, ensuring that their family life remained as normal as possible during this difficult time. In a poignant moment that tugs at the heartstrings, Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, shared a deeply emotional embrace with a young girl in a touching act of compassion. This story, both heartwarming and heart-wrenching, unfolds as we explore the powerful reason behind this heartfelt gesture, a reason that is bound to move you to tears. Join us as we delve into this extraordinary act of kindness and the profound impact it had on both the young girl and those who witnessed it. This is a story of empathy, connection, and the remarkable ways in which simple gestures can leave an enduring legacy.
I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you personally for all the wonderful messages of support and for your understanding whilst I've been recovering from surgery. It has been an incredibly tough couple of months for our entire family, but I've had a fantastic medical team who have taken great care of me, for which I'm so grateful. In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous.
Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, is renowned not only for her role within the British royal family, but also for her profound ability to connect with the public. Over the years, she has established herself as a figure of warmth, empathy, and genuine engagement, embodying qualities that endear her to people across the United Kingdom and around the world. Her interactions with individuals, her dedication to charitable causes, and the reciprocal affection she receives from the public reflect the depth of her character and the positive impact she has made. From the outset of her public life, Kate Middleton has been recognized for her exceptional ability to interact with people on a personal level. Her approachability and warmth have become defining features of her public persona. In a surprising moment that has reignited discussions about the inner workings of the British royal family, Princess Kate recently made headlines when she appeared to refuse to curtsy to Queen Camilla during a high-profile public event. The incident, caught on camera, has led to widespread speculation about possible tensions between the two royal figures. As protocol usually requires the Princess of Wales to show deference to the Queen Consort with a curtsy, Kate's decision to bypass this traditional gesture has been viewed by some as a pointed act of defiance, possibly reflecting underlying discord within the royal household. This moment, though brief, has added a new layer to the ongoing narrative surrounding the dynamics and relationships among the senior members of the monarchy.
News now from overseas concerning the royal family. Burglars broke into the grounds of Britain's Royal Windsor Castle last month.
From Adelaide Cottage, which is the primary residence for the Princess of Wales, along with their 3 young children.
What's really behind the royal family's carefully crafted image? For decades, one of the most trusted individuals in Princess Diana's life has stayed silent about the secrets she knew, until now. Diana's nanny has finally broken her silence, offering a rare glimpse into the hidden struggles of the Princess of Wales, her marriage, and the true nature of her relationship with her sons. Prepare for an eye-opening revelation. Diana's nanny was more than just a caretaker. She was a witness to the most intimate and personal moments of the princess's life. She observed Diana's struggles with immense pressure, both from her royal duties and her troubled marriage with Prince Charles. As a close confidant, the nanny was privy to the emotional turmoil Diana faced daily. This insight, hidden for decades, provides an authentic portrayal of the human side of Princess Diana, far from the public's idealized image. The nanny recalls how Diana, despite being adored worldwide, was often alone and vulnerable. Diana's role as a mother was her greatest priority, but her relationship with Charles was disintegrating before her eyes. While the public was captivated by the fairy tale marriage, behind the scenes, Diana's emotional state was deteriorating. The nanny, who was often the one to comfort the princess, witnessed Diana's deep sense of betrayal and loneliness. These emotions would become the foundation of her complex relationship with her children, especially as she strived to protect them from the chaos of her personal life. Despite her marital struggles, Diana remained fiercely dedicated to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. The nanny shares how Diana broke royal protocol to ensure her children had as normal a life as possible, even though the pressures of their royal status were always looming. Diana's love and devotion to her sons were undeniable, and her nanny often observed how their bond remained strong, even in the face of public scrutiny and personal challenges. As Diana's confidant, the nanny also observed the complex dynamics within the royal family. Diana's relationships with her in-laws, particularly the Queen and Prince Charles, were far from ideal. The nanny's perspective sheds light on the pressures Diana faced as she navigated her royal life. From the emotional strain of her marriage to the weight of public expectations, the nanny's untold truths about Diana's motherhood. While Princess Diana's life was often scrutinized by the media, one aspect that was less discussed was her role as a mother. The nanny, who was by Diana's side throughout much of her parenting journey, shares a unique perspective on how Diana's personal struggles shaped her approach to motherhood. Unlike many royal mothers before her, Diana was determined to provide her children with as normal a life as possible, despite their royal status. She often bucked royal tradition in favor of showing affection, tenderness, and love toward her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. The nanny recalls how Diana made an active effort to shield her children from the pressures of being in the public eye, even taking them on private trips to places like theme parks and museums. Diana was especially protective of their innocence, striving to give them experiences outside the palace that allowed them to be just regular boys. The nanny mentions how Diana would often play with them, engaging in fun and playful activities that were far removed from the royal duties expected of them. It was in these moments that Diana truly shone as a mother, loving, playful, and completely invested in their happiness. However, The nanny also reveals the challenges Diana faced in balancing her public image with her role as a mother. The pressures of maintaining her princess persona were intense, and Diana often struggled to reconcile the expectations placed on her with her desire to be a hands-on, loving mother. The nanny recalls how Diana's genuine worry about her children's emotional well-being was always at the forefront of her mind, even when the media attention grew overwhelming. She was determined that her sons would never feel neglected or overshadowed by the royal machinery. This chapter further highlights the contrast between the public's view of Diana as a glamorous figure and the private struggles she faced behind closed doors. The nanny's account of Diana's mothering style offers an authentic portrayal of a woman who, despite her personal turmoil, placed her children at the center of her world. Diana's legacy as a mother remains just as powerful as her impact as a humanitarian, and her sons continue to carry her teachings with them as they navigate their own family lives today. The emotional battles. While Diana was the picture of grace on the outside, the nanny reveals a different side of the princess, one that struggled deeply with loneliness, mental health issues, and feelings of abandonment. Diana's battle with bulimia and depression was something she kept hidden from the public eye, but the nanny witnessed it firsthand. As a mother, Diana was determined to shield her children from her personal struggles, but the emotional toll was evident to those who knew her best. The nanny recalls how Diana's mental health struggles were exacerbated by the media frenzy surrounding her marriage. The constant invasion of her privacy took a significant toll, but it was the breakdown of her relationship with Prince Charles that left the deepest scars. Diana felt abandoned and isolated in her marriage, and the nanny believes that these feelings of emotional neglect led to Diana's internal battles. Despite all of this, her love for William and Harry remained unwavering. In a private moment shared with the nanny, Diana admitted how difficult it was to reconcile her public persona with her private pain. She had become a global icon, admired for her charity work and empathy, but behind closed doors, she often felt invisible and alone. These emotional struggles deeply affected her relationship with her children, though she did everything in her power to protect them from the fallout. The nanny, a silent observer of Diana's life, offers an honest and raw depiction of what Diana went through. Her insight into the emotional and psychological toll that public life took on the princess helps us understand the deep human vulnerabilities that made Diana so relatable, even to those who had never met her. Diana's struggles with the royal family. From the very beginning of her marriage to Prince Charles, Princess Diana was thrust into the rigid and unyielding structure of the royal family. The nanny recalls how Diana, though a strong-willed woman, often felt stifled by the royal institution. Her marriage to Charles in particular was strained from the outset, with differences in their personalities and interests creating a chasm between them. Diana's relationship with the Queen and the rest of the royal family was often fraught with tension. While Diana sought affection and emotional intimacy, Charles remained emotionally distant, caught up in his royal duties, and, as it would later be revealed, his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. The nanny recounts how Diana was often left to fend for herself, trying to balance her royal duties with her emotional well-being. The sense of isolation she experienced within the royal family was one of the hardest challenges she faced. Despite these difficulties, Diana's love for her children remained constant. The nanny remembers how, even during the most trying times, Diana focused on ensuring that William and Harry felt loved and valued. She defied royal norms to give them experiences that were as normal as possible, even if it meant breaking royal protocol. Diana's ability to provide a safe space for her children in the midst of a turbulent royal life was one of the most significant aspects of her role as a mother. The nanny's perspective on Diana's struggles within the royal family provides a much-needed look into the tensions that existed behind the closed doors of Buckingham Palace. Diana was not just a figurehead, she was a woman navigating personal and public battles, trying to make the best decisions for her family in the midst of immense pressure. Prince Harry. Speaking out. In recent years, Prince Harry has broken his silence about the impact of his mother's legacy on his own life. In his memoir Spare, Harry shares his personal struggles with grief, loss, and the lasting trauma of Diana's untimely death. Harry has often spoken about how he feels his mother's presence in his life, even decades after her passing. His journey of self-reflection and therapy is deeply rooted in the love and compassion Diana instilled in him and his brother, William. Harry's emotional openness has been a central theme in his public appearances, particularly as he navigates his own mental health challenges. The death of Diana left a profound hole in his life, and his ongoing struggles with grief have shaped much of his adult life. Harry often speaks of the comfort he finds in the charitable work he does in honor of his mother, particularly in the areas of mental health and veterans affairs. In his reflections, Harry also acknowledges how Diana's death affected his relationship with his brother, Prince William. The intense public pressure on their family, particularly after Diana's passing, created a rift between the two brothers, and Harry has openly expressed his frustration with how their differing approaches to royal life have caused tension. Yet, despite their differences, Harry continues to honor his mother's legacy through his advocacy, and by ensuring that her humanitarian work lives on. Harry's candidness about his grief and the lasting impact of his mother's death provides valuable insight into the emotional toll the loss took on him and how it continues to shape his personal and public life. His journey of healing and self-discovery is a testament to the enduring influence of Princess Diana. Even decades after her passing, Prince William's quiet strength in Diana's legacy. Prince William, as the eldest son of Princess Diana, has often been more reserved about his emotions and his mother's legacy. However, his actions speak volumes about the profound influence Diana had on him. William's approach to fatherhood, his charitable work, and his role as a future monarch have all been shaped by the values Diana instilled in him. His commitment to mental health initiatives and environmental causes is a direct reflection of Diana's own philanthropic spirit. Despite the public's adoration for Diana, William had to navigate the complexities of his relationship with his mother, especially after her divorce from Prince Charles. William was old enough to witness the breakdown of his parents' marriage and felt the emotional strain of his mother's struggles. In the years following Diana's death, William has had to process his grief while stepping into a larger role within the royal family. In private, William has been deeply affected by the loss of his mother, but he often chooses to express his emotions through action rather than words. As a father, he is committed to raising his children in a way that honors Diana's legacy of compassion and love. His commitment to his children and his efforts to shield them from the media spotlight reflect the lessons he learned from his mother. William's role in continuing Diana's humanitarian efforts, especially through his work with mental health organizations, highlights the impact of her legacy on his life. He has ensured that Diana's compassion and advocacy for those in need live on through the work he does as a member of the royal family. Princess Diana's divorce. The breakdown of Princess Diana and Prince Charles's marriage was not just a public spectacle. It was a deeply personal struggle for both of them, especially for their sons, William and Harry. The nanny recalls the emotional toll the divorce took on Diana, who found herself caught between her royal duties and her role as a mother. The public's obsession with their marriage made it impossible for the family to find peace, and the emotional strain on the children was palpable. For William and Harry, the divorce marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. They were no longer a part of the united royal family they had known, and the separation forced them to navigate life between two homes, each with its own set of challenges. Diana, despite her own pain, remained committed to ensuring that her children felt loved and supported, but the emotional consequences of their parents' divorce would follow them for years to come. The nanny's perspective on the family's struggles during the divorce provides a unique insight into the challenges faced by William and Harry as they grew up in the public eye. Despite the personal pain they experienced, Diana remained a steady force in their lives, showing them the importance of love, resilience, and maintaining a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos of royal life. The divorce ultimately shaped the trajectory of both William and Harry's lives. For William, it reinforced the importance of duty and stability, while Harry's struggles with the loss of his mother and the breakdown of his family led him on a path of emotional discovery and healing. Diana's humanitarian legacy. Princess Diana's commitment to humanitarian causes was one of the most defining aspects of her life. Throughout her marriage to Prince Charles and beyond, Diana devoted herself to numerous charitable causes, from AIDS awareness to homelessness. Her willingness to use her platform to raise awareness about global issues set her apart from other royals, and her efforts continue to inspire generations. Even after her death, Diana's legacy lives on through the work of her sons. William and Harry have both carried forward her commitment to charity and public service, with each taking on causes that align with their mother's passions. William has focused heavily on mental health, while Harry has continued to advocate for veterans and mental health, using his platform to ensure that the issues Diana cared about remain in the public consciousness. The nanny, who was often by Diana's side during her charity work, recalls how deeply committed Diana was to making a difference. She did not see her charitable efforts as a duty, but as a genuine desire to help those who were suffering. Diana's ability to connect with people from all walks of life, whether in the UK or abroad, made her one of the most beloved figures in the world. Diana's dedication to her humanitarian work continues to influence her sons, who both strive to honor her memory by working on issues that matter to her. Her legacy is one of compassion, kindness, and a desire to make the world a better place. The tragic death of Princess Diana. Princess Diana's untimely death in 1997 shocked the world and left an indelible mark on her family, particularly her sons. The nanny recalls the shock and grief that rippled through the royal family following Diana's death, and how it affected William and Harry. The loss of their mother at such a young age left both princes struggling with their emotions and grappling with the intense public scrutiny that followed. For Harry, the loss of Diana has been a source of deep pain and unresolved grief. In his memoir Spare, Harry opens up about his struggles with the death of his mother, describing the surrealness of the moment he learned of her passing. His emotional journey has been shaped by this loss, and his desire to keep his mother's memory alive has influenced much of his adult life. William, on the other hand, has approached his grief with more composure, focusing on his royal duties and public responsibilities. But the loss of Diana left a lasting mark on him as well, shaping his views on love, family, and duty. The nanny's perspective provides valuable insight into how Diana's death impacted her sons differently, with each of them processing their grief in their own way. Despite their differences, both William and Harry have used their personal pain as a catalyst for change, advocating for mental health awareness and charity work. Diana's legacy continues to shape their lives, and her influence remains a guiding force in their public and private endeavors. Moving forward, as Prince William and Prince Harry continue to navigate their roles within the royal family, the impact of Princess Diana's life and death remains a significant part of their journey. Both brothers have faced challenges, but their mother's teachings have guided them through the toughest moments. Diana's influence on their humanitarian efforts, their commitment to family, and their shared love for their children demonstrates that her legacy is alive and well. The nanny's insights into the royal family's personal struggles offer a unique perspective on how Diana's life and death shaped the future of the British monarchy. Through her eyes, we see a family united by love, despite the personal turmoil and public scrutiny they faced. As the years go on, the memory of Princess Diana continues to inspire not just her sons, but also the world that loved her. As Prince William and Harry continue to forge their own paths, they are reminded every day of the lessons Diana taught them. Whether through their charity work, their public personas, or their private relationships, Diana's spirit lives on in the hearts of her sons and in the hearts of millions around the world. The nanny's revelations provide an unparalleled look into the private life of one of the world's most beloved figures. Through her eyes, we understand the emotional toll of Diana's life and the legacy she left behind. What do you think of the nanny's insights into Diana's life and the royal family? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more royal stories.
Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, is typically known for her poise and grace in the public eye, but a recent incident has left many shocked. In a rare and unexpected moment, Kate was seen being rushed away after a tense, on-camera situation took a sudden and unsettling turn. While the specifics of the meltdown remain unclear, the footage has sparked widespread concern, with many wondering what could have caused such an unusual reaction from the normally composed Duchess. This incident has left royal watchers stunned, raising questions about the pressures Kate faces behind the scenes.
She always leaves a little gift or something in their room when we go and stay, and that just shows, I think, her love for her family.
Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, is one of the most visible and admired members of the British royal family. Known for her elegance, composure, and unwavering dedication to royal duties, Kate has managed to maintain a steady and dignified public image. But even someone as seemingly unflappable as Kate isn't immune to the intense pressures of life in the spotlight.
We're looking forward to spending the rest of the times, the rest of our lives together, and seeing what the future holds.
In a rare moment that surprised many, Kate found herself at the center of an unexpected and unsettling incident that left her being rushed away in an unusually public manner. While Kate has always been known for handling public appearances with grace, this recent event has led to questions about the stress and challenges she faces behind closed doors.
Massively so. Of course, her and her family, I really want to make sure that they have the best sort of guidance and chance to see what life has been like, or what life is like in the family, and that's kind of almost why I have been waiting this long, as I wanted to give her a chance to see and to back out if she needed to.
The incident in question occurred during what was supposed to be a routine public engagement. As with many of Kate's appearances, the Duchess was on duty for a charitable cause, visiting an organization that focuses on early childhood development, a cause she has championed for years. The event was intended to be a positive and uplifting occasion, with Kate interacting with families and children as part of her ongoing work with the Royal Foundation's Early Years Initiative.
Before it all got too much, because I'm trying to learn from lessons done in the past, and I just wanted to give her the best chance to settle in and see what happens the other side.
And I'm also glad that I've had the time to to grow and understand myself more as well. So,
however, things took an unexpected turn when an on-camera situation reportedly became tense, leading to Kate being quickly ushered away from the event. While details of the specific circumstances remain unclear, reports suggest that Kate may have been overwhelmed by the situation, leading to what some witnesses described as a meltdown. Given her normally composed demeanor, this moment sparked widespread concern and media speculation.
well, obviously it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to.
Royal watchers and fans were quick to point out that this kind of public reaction is highly unusual for the Duchess, who has faced years of intense scrutiny without showing signs of stress or discomfort in front of the cameras. This moment has brought renewed attention to the immense pressure Kate faces as a senior member of the royal family. Ever since marrying Prince William in 2011, Kate has been a constant presence in the public eye, taking on a growing number of responsibilities as the future Queen consort. Her every move, outfit, and interaction is scrutinized, and the expectations placed on her are enormous. Despite this, Kate has managed to maintain a near-perfect public image, rarely giving the media or the public a glimpse into any personal struggles she may be facing. However, this recent incident is a reminder that life in the royal family is not as glamorous or easy as it may seem. The pressures of constantly being in the spotlight, combined with the weight of royal duties, can take a toll on anyone, even someone as composed as Kate Middleton. While the British press has long been known for its relentless coverage of the royal family, the scrutiny has only intensified in recent years, particularly following the departure of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from royal duties. This departure has left Kate and William with even more responsibilities, placing additional pressure on the couple as they step into more prominent roles within the monarchy. In the years since Meghan and Harry's exit, Kate has been seen as a stabilizing force within the royal family, working quietly and diligently to fulfill her duties without drawing too much attention to herself. However, the public and media often pit her against Meghan, comparing everything from their fashion choices to their public personas. This kind of comparison adds another layer of stress to Kate's role, as she's constantly being evaluated in contrast to other royals, particularly Meghan, who has taken a very different approach to life in the public eye. Kate's role in the ongoing rift between Prince William and Prince Harry has also been a source of significant tension. The once close brothers have reportedly become estranged in recent years, with their relationship reaching a breaking point following Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from their royal roles. While much of the media attention has focused on the brothers, Kate's position as William's wife has placed her squarely in the middle of this family drama. There have been numerous reports suggesting that Kate has tried to act as a peacemaker between the brothers, but the strain of the situation has undoubtedly taken a toll on her as well. As the world continues to watch Kate Middleton's every move, this recent incident serves as a reminder that life in the royal family comes with its own set of unique pressures. While the Duchess has consistently managed to maintain her grace and composure, the challenges she faces behind the scenes are undoubtedly significant. The media's fixation on this rare moment of vulnerability highlights the often unrealistic expectations placed on public figures, especially women in positions of power. Ultimately, the incident involving Kate Middleton being rushed away during a public appearance is a reflection of the immense pressure she faces as a senior royal. While the details of what exactly caused the situation remain unclear, it's a reminder that even those who seem to have it all together can experience moments of stress and vulnerability. Kate's ability to handle these challenges with grace is a testament to her strength. But it's also important to recognize that behind the polished public image is a person who, like everyone else, faces her own struggles. Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, has long been seen as the epitome of grace, poise, and royal duty. As a key figure in the British royal family, she has always maintained a composed and polished public image, rarely revealing much about her personal life. However, a recent statement from Kate has left many stunned and concerned. In a candid moment, she admitted, "Most people have no idea what is happening to me," sparking widespread speculation about the challenges she may be facing behind closed doors. This revelation has left royal watchers and fans alike wondering what struggles Kate may be enduring beneath her calm exterior.
If you look at the coronation footage as the King and Queen leave the thrones and head for the exit of Westminster Abbey on the coronation Saturday, you'll see that everyone bows and curtsies to the King, and no one moves a limb, a muscle, when Camilla passes. And that was because they were angry with Camilla. Camilla brought 20 Parker Bowleses to the coronation. There were 4 Middletons. All the people that helped Camilla get the crown on her head were excluded from that coronation, and they were furious. And not only that, Kate and William were angry too. And that anger, of course, Harry was angry, that anger went right through that small part of the congregation by the throne, by the centre of Westminster Abbey.
Princess Kate's refusal to curtsy to Queen Camilla during a recent public event has become a focal point of royal watchers and media alike, triggering a wave of speculation about what might be going on behind the closed doors of the British royal family. This incident, while seemingly minor, has brought to light the complexities of royal protocol, the relationships between senior royals, and the public's fascination with even the smallest gestures within the monarchy. For centuries, the British royal family has been steeped in tradition, with every move, gesture, and word often carrying significant weight. The act of curtsying in particular is more than just a polite gesture. It is a deeply symbolic act of respect and acknowledgement of rank within the royal hierarchy. The sight of Princess Kate, the wife of the future king, choosing not to curtsy to the current queen consort, was therefore a moment loaded with potential meaning. Observers at the event noted that as the royal family gathered, there was a palpable tension in the air. All eyes were on Kate as she approached Queen Camilla. Traditionally, as the Princess of Wales, Kate would be expected to show deference to Camilla, who, as queen consort, holds a higher rank. However, instead of the customary curtsy, Kate merely nodded politely before continuing on her way. The deviation from protocol was subtle, but in the world of royalty, where every gesture is scrutinized, it was enough to set off a flurry of rumors and discussions. Some insiders suggest that Kate's decision may have been influenced by a series of recent events that have strained her relationship with Camilla. It's no secret that the royal family has faced numerous challenges over the years, from the death of Princess Diana to the ongoing struggles with public perception and the media. These challenges have, at times, created rifts between different members of the family, and it's possible that these tensions are now playing out in public view. One potential source of tension could be the differing approaches Kate and Camilla have taken toward their royal duties. Kate, known for her modern approach and emphasis on mental health and children's issues, has become a beloved figure in the UK and beyond. Her calm demeanor and dedication to her role have won her widespread praise, particularly among the younger generation of royal watchers. On the other hand, Camilla's journey to becoming queen consort has been fraught with challenges, including her long and controversial relationship with King Charles, which was initially met with public skepticism. Over time, Camilla has worked hard to carve out her own role within the monarchy, focusing on issues such as domestic violence and literacy. Despite their different approaches, both women are united by their commitment to the monarchy and their families. However, the recent incident suggests that there may be underlying differences in how they view their roles and each other. Some sources close to the royal family have hinted that there may have been disagreements over how certain royal duties should be handled or how public appearances should be managed, leading to a build-up of tension that finally surfaced in this public moment. This isn't the first time that the British royal family has found itself at the center of public scrutiny due to interpersonal dynamics. The relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, for example, was often portrayed as complex, with Diana's popularity and modern approach sometimes clashing with the traditionalism of the monarchy. Similarly, the relationship between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the rest of the royal family has been a source of intense media interest and public debate, particularly after the couple's decision to step back from their royal duties and the subsequent revelations about their experiences within the family. In many ways, the monarchy's public image is shaped as much by these personal relationships as by official duties and public engagements. The British public, and indeed people around the world, have a deep fascination with the royal family, viewing them not just as leaders, but as symbols of continuity, tradition, and national identity. As such, any sign of discord or deviation from the norm within the family is often magnified, leading to intense speculation and debate. The incident involving Kate and Camilla has also highlighted the challenges that come with navigating the complex world of royal protocol. While the rules and traditions of the monarchy are designed to maintain order and respect, they can also be a source of tension, particularly when personal feelings come into play. In this case, Kate's decision not to curtsy may have been a way of asserting her own identity and independence within the rigid structure of the royal family. The British royal family, with all its grandeur and tradition, is often seen as a symbol of continuity and stability in a rapidly changing world. Yet incidents like the one involving Princess Kate and Queen Camilla reveal the human side of this storied institution, where personal relationships and emotions intersect with the demands of duty and protocol. The refusal to curtsy might seem like a small act, but in the context of royal life, it carries significant weight, shedding light on the complexities and challenges that come with being part of such a unique and scrutinized family. As the public and media continue to speculate on the meaning behind this moment. It serves as a reminder that the royals, despite their elevated status, are not immune to the intricacies of personal dynamics. The balance between upholding tradition and navigating modern relationships is a delicate one, and this incident underscores the ongoing evolution of the monarchy as it seeks to remain relevant in the 21st century. In the coming years, as Kate and other younger royals take on more prominent roles, moments like these will likely shape how they are perceived both within the family and by the public. Will they adhere strictly to tradition, or will they seek to redefine their roles in a way that reflects their own values and the changing expectations of society? The answer to this question will play a crucial role in determining the future of the monarchy. For now, this incident stands as a moment of reflection, not just for the royal family, but for all who follow their story. It highlights the ongoing tension between personal feelings and public expectations, a theme that has run through the history of the British monarchy. As the world watches how this situation unfolds, it will be interesting to see how the royal family navigates this latest challenge and what it reveals about the future direction of the institution. Ultimately, the story of the British royal family is one of endurance, adaptation, and the constant balancing act between tradition and change. In a shocking turn of events, King Charles III has stepped down from his role as the monarch of the British royal family. This unprecedented move has sent shockwaves through the United Kingdom and around the world. Camilla, Queen Consort, has reportedly been deeply affected by this development, with sources close to the palace describing her as being in tears. This decision marks a significant moment in British history, altering the future of the monarchy in ways that were previously unimaginable. The announcement came after a series of private meetings within the royal family, leading to the king's official abdication. The news of King Charles III stepping down as the monarch of the British royal family has reverberated across the globe, marking a historic moment in the centuries-old institution. This decision, which has taken many by surprise, was made following a series of private discussions within the royal family. The gravity of the situation is evident, as sources close to Buckingham Palace have revealed that Queen Consort Camilla has been deeply moved by the decision, with reports indicating that she has been brought to tears by the turn of events. King Charles' decision to abdicate has not only shaken the foundations of the monarchy, but has also left the public and royal watchers in a state of disbelief. After years of waiting in the wings, as the heir apparent, Charles ascended to the throne, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. His reign, though short, has been marked by attempts to modernize the monarchy and address the changing dynamics of British society. However, his decision to step down comes as a significant departure from royal tradition, where abdications are rare and often carry considerable implications. In the days leading up to the announcement, there were whispers of tension and uncertainty within the royal household. Insiders have suggested that Charles faced mounting pressure, both from within the family and from external forces, to reconsider his role. The king's health, public opinion, and the future of the monarchy were reportedly central to these discussions. Despite the challenges, many believed that Charles would continue to fulfill his duties as monarch. However, the final decision to abdicate indicates the weight of the considerations he had to bear. Camilla, who has stood by Charles's side for decades, is said to have been particularly affected by the decision. As Queen Consort, she has faced her own share of public scrutiny and challenges. The prospect of Charles stepping down from the throne has added a personal dimension to the situation, amplifying the emotional toll it has taken on her.